Cultural change in an organization is very difficult, and what we're finding in the organizations we're working with is you have to do it top down and bottom up. So how do we make sure that innovation isn't just a buzzword anymore, that it's actually built into the fabric of our organization? How do we build it into performance metrics of the executives? How do we motivate and incent our staff to be doing the right things? So our business developers, our programmers, our designers are coming up with new ideas and capabilities, and that those get oxygen to go forward. You have to do it at both ends of the continuum. Canadians at large as an entire culture are much more risk averse, and we saw that in the survey. Canadian CIOs told us that 82% of them said innovation was really important, but over half of them felt that they either didn't have the money, couldn't come up with the funding, or didn't know how to invest it. So there's a challenge there in terms of how we break that out. We need to be thinking about how do we manage risk in a portfolio. We don't want to place all our bets on the brand new capabilities. We need to do some innovations that are inside our core, as well as some longer term strategic bets, but we need to balance it and seek some of the risks as we go through the journey. Get outside of our comfort zone. We're starting to see some of the organizations think about how do they actually try and act as a startup. So for example, placing some of their teams at incubators and accelerators, so we start to change the culture. That then can lead to us taking on more risks in a manageable type of way. CIOs need to do is make sure that innovation is real, that it has a process, that we're defining it. So thinking about innovation in that context, and then having a rigorous approach to how do you define innovation initiatives, how do you do ideation and get good ideas in, how do you actually pilot them and then commercialize them. That process should be defined. It should be a scientific process, just like the way that we do testing or core systems development. But it's just now that there's more maturity in the overall innovation processes. So CIOs need to be thinking about how do they apply that and be bringing new ideas into the organization, but also funding them and getting them commercialized. It can't just be a sandbox where people play. They have to be doing things where they create value. Our tagline, by the way, for innovation is fresh ideas that create value. Two ends of that continuum. Fresh, is it a new idea to the organization, to the country, to the industry, to the world? And does it create value? Real value for your shareholders or your employees.